First reading. A reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verses 10 to 16. To us, though, God has given revelation through the Spirit, for the Spirit explores the depth of everything, even the depth of God. After all, is there anyone who knows the qualities of anyone except his own spirit within him? And in the same way, nobody knows the qualities of God except the Spirit of God. Now, the Spirit we have received is not the Spirit of the world, but God's own Spirit, so that we may understand the lavish gifts God has given us. And these are what we speak of, not in the terms learned from human philosophy, but in terms learned from the Spirit, fitting spiritual language to spiritual things. The natural person has no room for the gifts of God's Spirit. To him, they are folly. He cannot recognize them because their value can be assessed only in the Spirit. The spiritual person, on the other hand, can assess the value of everything, and that person's value cannot be assessed by anybody else. For who has ever known the mind of the Lord? Who has ever been his adviser? But we are those who have the mind of Christ. This is the word of Lord. Thanks be to God. A reading from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 4, verses 31 to 37. He went down to Capernaum, a town in Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath. And his teaching made a deep impression on them because his word carried authority. In the synagogues, there was a man possessed by the spirit of an unclean devil, and he shouted at the top of his voice, "Ha! What do you want with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus rebuked it, saying, "Be quiet, come out of him." And the evil, throwing the man into the middle, went out of him without hurting him at all. Astonishment seized them, and they were all saying to one another, "What is it in his words? He gives orders to unclean spirit with authority and power, and they come out." And the news of him traveled all through the surrounding countryside,